You have questions for the Education, Sport and Culture Minister, your fellow constituency MHK, of course. You're asking if he'll make a statement on the improvement works to the National Sports Centre. This is in reference to the leisure pool, really, isn't it? Predominantly?
Yeah, that's it. That's that ongoing issue. And it's paralleled with a written question, because the written question is actually looking at the impact on revenue, because we've got two situations here. We've got a price that was going to cover the job, and the job's not being completed, but we've also got the other issue of the revenue falling. So we've got a really scary situation here in terms of a government project.
You're asking for the revenue generated in each of the past 60 months, so that could produce quite a detailed answer.
Definitely, yeah.
And how would you use that information then?
I think what it's going to give us is the long-term view in terms of what's happened to revenue. We can go back 3 years before with the issues. We'll see what the revenue was, whether it was stable, whether it was falling or increasing. And then we've got the time when the pool was closed, where it presumably was zero. And then we've got, following the pool being opened, what happened there. And that's going to be trailed by this revenue coming from the leisure pool. So it's going to really give us some accurate insight into what has happened into the revenue.
You had a question relating to the National Sports Centre tabled in the House of Keys, which was that withdrew?
Yeah, I actually withdrew for the simple reason that as I spoke to the Minister, we have usually a meeting a week because of the constituency link, and he suggested that there would be a more detailed answer if I was to wait a week. And I thought, in terms of the possible outcome,
so you withdrew the question basically at the request of the person being questioned?
I wouldn't say I withdrew it. I actually transferred it straight to Tynwald. So it was a case of, I'm not withdrawing this question, I want to move it to the following week. And in Tynwald, you tend to get a better quality of answer, you get more debate, you get more people participating. So that plus the added promise of a more detailed answer.
Is it to give MLCs a chance to ask supplementaries? Can we infer from
the
that?
The MLCs will be able to come in, so that could be useful, especially a topic like this. I've spoken to a couple of MLCs who've got children, and they've said, yeah, this is something that we can relate to, so potentially that could come in.
In terms of the timing, though, when you had the question in the House of Keys, that was, of course, ahead of half term.
Yeah.
By the time we get this answer, it's going to be a couple of days into half term. So does that change what you're expecting the Minister to say?
That's making it more relevant, because people are actually going to be in a week. The weather conditions aren't looking too good for next week. So with the situation where, what do we do with the children? This should have been a first port of call for us, and it's still short. We need answers, we need clarity, and hopefully that will be provided.